passive income wealth advisors in the world, where they share their ideas, deal stories, and inspiration. So together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. Hey, I am beyond excited to have our next guest here. He is a virtual mentor to me and also becoming a friend along the way here. He is an apartment expert. I first found our guest online, actually, searching for a elegant and simple Excel spreadsheet to underwrite multifamily properties. And some of you may or may not know, but I came from Marcus and Millichap, and we have all kinds of underwriting tools. But there's few and far between really clear, clean ones, but also can do some complex things. And so as a part of that search, I came into this person named Michael Blanc, and I said, hey, what's this? Learned about it, started to dig in, attended one of his online courses, and here we are. Fast forward, he has an awesome podcast. He has a heart for educating and serving others, and he has a passion for investment real estate as it pertains to multifamily, just like me. And so I'm still learning from him. And so I'm excited to welcome Michael Blanc to the show. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Brett, it's great to be here.
Hey, so glad to have you. And by the way, you can find Michael at themichaelblanc.com. And he also has an amazing thing coming up called Deal Maker Live for anybody who's in the syndication business, wants to get into multifamily, wants to learn how to get passive or active wealth through a multifamily investing. That is coming up. I'll be attending that. You should too. But let's just dive right into the show, Michael, so we can give our listeners a little bit about your background and your current focus.
Yeah, I mean, our current focus is to helping people become financially free with real estate. And most people, of course, think single family houses, and the true path is with apartment buildings. And some people might say, well, that's great, but I don't have the experience for it or the cash. And the truth is, you don't need either of those things. So we help people overcome both of those issues. And from the point where people decide that, hey, enough is enough, I want to get started with multifamily, from that point forward, 1 to 2 years, and most people are able to quit their job and become financially free. So I'm really excited about the stuff that we're doing right now.
Absolutely. And thanks for sharing that. And by the way, we're going to dive into the full interview with Michael and some of those strategies for multifamily coming up. This is our intro to that big interview. But we're also focusing on capital gains tax solutions here for our listeners. So Michael, I'm curious, what's the biggest frustration or challenge that you've had or that you're maybe facing when it pertains to capital gains tax deferral?
Yeah, I mean, clearly exiting these multifamily syndications is going to be a challenge for the tax deferral. And this is why, you and I started talking about the Deferred Sales Trust and stuff like that, because with 1031 exchanges, it's very difficult to do. And it certainly can be done, but it's really complicated. And the DST makes that much more possible. So we're going to be looking a lot at using vehicles like the DST to exit these and to roll our investors over. Because I mean, some of them, of course, will want their money back and pay the capital gains for whatever reason. But there's a good number of them who are like, well, you know what? Why should I pay taxes? And so a solution that you're providing is going to be highly relevant to us and anyone who's starting to look to exit some of these syndications.
Absolutely. And maybe dive in a little bit for our listeners, because some of them may not know as much about the 1031 exchange. What's been your experience in the past with the 1031? What did you like? What didn't you like? What were the challenges?
Well, we have not actually used any one of them for various different reasons. We've tried to syndicate with them. And the truth of the 1031 exchanges they're complicated to set up. They're expensive to set up. They're complicated to set up. And it really doesn't make sense for a syndication. In other words, you can't have 10 1031 exchangers going in syndications. Like you'll shoot yourself. So it really only makes sense when someone has essentially 80 or 90, 100% of the deal and they're stroking a $2 million check. Then you're like, okay, well, I'll pay the whatever, $20,000 on attorney fees to get that done. And it's a little bit of an unnatural act in a syndication. So, and frankly, I don't really know how many people I even know that have mixed a syndication with a 1031 exchange. It's just really god awful. And you probably know more than I do. It's just not done because of the complexity of it. So we're all collectively looking for a better solution.
Absolutely. And that's part of what we provide is an alternative or a backup plan for a failed 1031. We just saved a $7.6 million deal, which I just sent to you a few weeks ago, or last week to review. It was a multifamily owner, baby boomer, 128 units. He had a $4.5 million of debt, about $3.1 million in equity. And he was faced with not very attractive deals at the time. Corona hit, and so his timing actually worked out, and that he just defaulted into this deferred sales trust. And now he's sitting on the sidelines and he's waiting looking to invest. And what I like most about this for syndicators like yourself and those that you educate is the opportunity for those folks to now go back into your deal all tax deferred without having to do the 1031. And it's simple for you. In other words, he just forms an LLC, he funds that LLC. And as far as you're concerned, it's just an LLC investing passively into your deal, which makes it very seamless for you as the operator, and also very attractive for him because he saved 1.1 million in tax. But we're going to dive more into that on a later episode. But Michael, real quick, if folks want to reach out to you, let them know quickly, what you provide, where they can find you, and where's the best way to connect with you. And also, please remind them of Dealmaker Live.
Dealmaker Live. Okay. Well, if you want to be financially free with real estate, if you have your real estate in the brain, and you want to quit your job, check us out. I'm at themichaelblank.com. It's written BLANK, written blank, pronounced funny. And the book is called, the big surprise is Financial Freedom with Real Estate Investing. It's on Amazon, a bestseller right now. So I'm really excited about that book. So that's where you find me. Dealmaker Live is really about for anyone who wants to get into or want to accelerate or scale their syndication business. So it's all going to be about multifamily. It's going to be about finding deals, analyzing deals, about raising money, marketing, scaling, operating, every aspect of syndication. It will be represented.
And I can tell you from being in multifamily and starting with some of the best in the business at Marcus & Millichap 13 years ago and learning from people who'd sold lots of real estate, I'm learning still every time I'm listening to Michael's podcast or looking at his analyzer or attending one of his events. I mean, I'm telling you, for the seasoned professional, there's always something more to learn, and Michael's on the cutting edge for all of that. But also, too, he makes it simple for the new person who's coming in, too. So if you're just learning and wanting to jump into multifamily, attend to 10 to 10. Again, I'll be attending as well. It's all virtual, right? So you don't have to fly anywhere. You can just, from the comfort of your home, check that out. And then make sure to check out Michael as well for his podcast and his book. With that, I want to thank you for listening to another episode of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy is the best way